Do you want to fire away first?
Yeah, congratulations, Shaun. Apparently, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yeah, loud and clear.
Apparently, they're dancing on the streets of Earthlingborough right now.
Yeah.
Does it, it feels a bit like 2005 all over again. Is that, I mean, do you sort of see that comparison in the way you approached the game tonight and the way you played?
I mean, certainly in terms of, raking in the long reds and scoring heavily, I guess, there could be a tone of that. I feel like I'm a much better player now than I was in 2005. Much more of an all-round player. I'm not an all-rounder by any stretch of the word, but I certainly have a much better all-round game now than I did back then as a bit of a clueless 22-year-old lad. So, just obviously thrilled and long may it continue.
Where did it come from then? In the context of the season that you've had, how can you step out on the big stage like that and play like a kind of carefree 22-year-old again?
Yeah, I think it really goes to back up what I've been saying for a long, long time, many, many years, is that, snooker's a two-player sport. And if your opponent flies out the blocks and plays like Kyren did in the first 8 frames, you can't win. Snooker isn't like golf where you always get to go and hit your ball again, or in darts where you're guaranteed to get another 3 darts unless it's the last throw of the game. Snooker isn't like that. And I think that's probably what makes snooker the hardest single-player sport in the world. Your next shot could be your last. And, for you to have a good run and to do well, you do need some help from your opponent. And I had to wait a long time for any help from Kyren, but it did come eventually.
I've never seen so many fist pumps. You're obviously, playing to the crowd, perhaps. How much did the crowd help and how much did that interaction kind of spur you on?
Well, I've said all season that, I'm definitely one of those players who needs the crowd. I need that 12th man interaction. And, I'm a much lesser player without it. And that's been evident in my results all season. I wouldn't go as far as to say that the crowd they are the reason I've played so well, but they've certainly played a part. And I think we have to remember that we are in the entertainment business, and we're there to put a show on. Everyone's been isolated and locked up for the last year, so everyone wants to see a good show, and it's our job to put them on and entertain them.
Kyren just said he found the kind of fist bump thing a bit over the top and theatrical. I mean, was there an element of psychology in it? You sort of get to you get into the opponent a bit, or was that not a factor?
Well, we are in a theatre, and this is a show, so it wasn't designed to annoy him in any way. It wasn't designed to put him off at all. But there is much more to winning major snooker events in front of live audiences than just hitting the cue ball in a straight line and putting balls in pockets. There's a lot more goes into it than just purely on the table theatrics. And, maybe that's a stone that Kyren hasn't looked under just yet.
Just finally from me, if you sort of go back to maybe some of your darkest days, shut in the hotel room in Milton Keynes in between tournaments, if someone had called you then and said you'd be sitting here on the verge of another world final, would you have believed them?
No, definitely not. If you'd have told me that I'd be sat here in May, maybe as a pundit or as a commentator, I would have believed that much quicker. There were serious moments in the last 12 months, maybe a little bit more than that, I thought my runs to these days of this event specifically were dead and buried. And no one's more surprised, but more thrilled than me, I can tell you.
Great. Thanks, Shaun. Congratulations.
Hi, Shaun. Congratulations.
Hello, thank you. How are you feeling? Not well?
No, I'm all right. Doing okay. Thank you. You taking this remarkably in your stride, very sort of as if you saw it come in. It must be an emotional experience, though, as you say, after going through some dark days.
Yeah, very emotional. It is very emotional, and it's this is what we play for, though, isn't it? And it's these moments are to be enjoyed when you're out there and the pockets start looking like buckets and you start playing shots and they're coming off exactly as you imagine them to. That doesn't happen all the time. So, you know, when it does all come together at a moment like that, you really do have to enjoy it, especially having been, you know, 6-2 and 10-4 behind at certain times in the match. Who would have thought at that stage I would run out a 17-12 winner? Not me, for sure. I just kept telling myself that, you know, it wasn't first to 6. That was my mantra after the first session. It's not first to 6. You still had to win 11 frames. And at 10-4, I was just thinking, well, not first to 10. I've been in this situation before. You know, I won the World Championship final from 10-6 behind. You know, I won the World quarter final from 11-5 behind. So, you know, it's sorry, I just sort of lost my stride there. You know, it's these moments. You know, it's a long time ago since I was in that situation, but you know, I haven't forgotten how to do it, and loved every minute of it. Is
there something that clicks into gear? Did you work with Chris this morning? Or he say anything, or does it just come out of nowhere?
We've been working very hard behind the scenes, you know, in lockdown, you know, having lots of Zoom and FaceTime sessions, you know, in the club. And, you know, I do work very hard on my game between the ears. And I'm always, you know, my practice partners will tell you I'm always experimenting. I'm always trying different shots out, trying different strategies, you know, different ways of attacking a frame. And, you know, I've spent a lot of time doing that in recent months. You know, one of the players with Kyren himself in Northampton, when I've been over there, you know, I've spent a lot of time practicing with him, picking balls out for him, and learning from him, learning from other players, learning from Mark Allen, learning from Fergal, learning from Jordan Brown, trying to watch these guys and see how I can adapt a little bit of their game to mine, and maybe practicing with a better caliber of player more often has sharpened me up a little bit.
And I mean, people on commentary were saying that's unplayable. You've got to fancy your chances against either of these guys you'd face over the final. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure whether I go as far as to say it was unplayable. I mean, you know, Kyren did miss a couple of balls that he perhaps shouldn't have done and maybe wouldn't have done in a different scenario. So it's always nice to get some help from your opponent. But yeah, I mean, whoever comes through out of this semi, if I play like that, I'll definitely be a handful for either of them.
I'm sure I can guess what you're going to say, but have you got a preference for either of them? I know they're about to finish very soon.
No, absolutely not. No, sorry to give you the old cliche, but no, they are, you know, obviously as both former champions here, it makes no odds to me which one comes through, and it'll be a great game no matter who comes through.
And again, I'm sure I can guess the answer, but this would be the greatest achievement of your career to win after sort of what you've been through and at this stage of your career, another world title at this point?
Yeah, I think so. I think some 16 years after my world title win in 2005, you know, that might even be the longest gap between wins. I'm not sure, but it would certainly be a very, very special occasion.
Brilliant. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you.
Shaun, congratulations on a brilliant